Reacher Season 3 just dropped its most explosive episode yet. From shocking deaths to a jaw-dropping cliffhanger, Episode 5 has left fans on the edge of their seats. Who survived? Who didn't? And what's next for Reacher as he faces his deadliest enemies yet? Stick around as we break down the ending, uncover hidden details, and predict what's coming next in this action-packed season. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where we dive deep into your favorite shows and uncover all the hidden details you might have missed. Today we're talking about Reacher Season 3, Episode 5, and let me tell you, this episode was a roller coaster of emotions, action, and surprises. If you haven't watched it yet, be warned, spoilers ahead. So grab your popcorn, hit that like button, and let's get into it. This week's episode was all about high-stakes action and moving the story forward. After last week's flashback-heavy episode, which gave us a deeper look into Reacher's connection to Xavier Quinn and his thirst for revenge, Episode 5 ramped up the tension and left us with yet another massive cliffhanger. Let's break it all down. The episode kicked off with a tense warehouse shootout, setting the tone for what was to come. We saw Reacher's cover nearly blown, the death of key characters, and a shocking realization that Paulie might actually be a threat to Reacher. Yes, you heard that right, Paulie. The towering henchman might just be Reacher's match. When Reacher landed a punch and Paulie barely flinched, only to retaliate with a devastating hit that left Reacher stunned, it was clear this showdown is far from over. Now, let's talk about that ending. Reacher was summoned to meet Julius McCabe, who we now know is none other than Francis Xavier Quinn, the man Reacher thought he killed years ago. Quinn, suffering from amnesia after his near-death experience, might not recognize Reacher, but that doesn't mean Reacher's thirst for revenge has faded. The moment Reacher reached for his gun, you could feel the tension. Will he take his shot, or will he play it smart? One thing's for sure, Quinn's men won't let him walk out alive if he tries anything reckless. One of the most heartbreaking moments of the episode was the death of Annette, the undercover ATF agent. Reacher had grown close to her, and her death hit him hard. The way he laid her to rest with dignity, despite the brutal circumstances, showed just how much she meant to him. It also served as a grim reminder of the dangers Reacher faces every day. Annette's death wasn't just a loss for Reacher, it was a wake-up call. He's always just one misstep away from meeting the same fate. And what about Teresa? Duffy's still holding on to hope that she's alive, but let's be real, the odds aren't in her favor. These are ruthless people we're dealing with, and if her cover was blown, it's unlikely she's still breathing. But here's a wild theory. What if Teresa switched sides? What if she's now working with McCabe and Quinn? It's a twist that would definitely shake things up, and I'm here for it. Overall, this was a solid episode packed with action, suspense, and emotional moments. The stakes are high, and Reacher's facing challenges like never before. But if there's one thing I'm missing this season, it's the strong personal connections Reacher usually forms. In Season 1, it was Roscoe and Finley. In Season 2, it was Dixon and his team. This time, Reacher feels more isolated, and while that makes sense given he's undercover, it does take away some of the emotional depth we've come to love. So, what did you think of Episode 5? Do you think Reacher will take his shot at Quinn? Is Paulie really his match? And what's next for Duffy and Philly? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future breakdowns. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep watching and keep theorizing. This script is designed to be engaging, informative, and interactive, encouraging viewers to share their thoughts and stay tuned for more content. Reacher is back, and this time, the stakes have never been higher. Episode 5 of Season 3 delivered jaw-dropping action, shocking deaths, and a cliffhanger that's left fans begging for more. Who survived? Who didn't? And what's next for Reacher as he faces his deadliest enemies yet? Welcome to my YouTube channel, where we break it all down, spoilers ahead, so if you haven't watched the episode yet, what are you waiting for? Let's dive in. Alright, let's start with a quick recap. This episode was a game changer. After last week's deep dive into Reacher's past and his connection to Xavier Quinn, episode 5 shifted gears and gave us non-stop action. We saw Reacher's cover nearly blown, the death of key characters, and a brutal reminder that even Reacher can be outmatched. Oh, and that ending? Let's just say it's going to have major consequences moving forward. The episode kicked off with a heart-pounding warehouse shootout. This wasn't just your typical action scene, it was a masterclass in tension. Reacher's quick thinking and combat skills were on full display, but even he couldn't prevent the death of Stephen Elliott, the inexperienced DEA agent. Elliott's death was a gut punch, especially after we saw him struggling to prove himself. It's a harsh reminder that in Reacher's world, one mistake can cost you everything. Then there's Paulie. Oh, Paulie. This guy is a mountain of a man, and when Reacher landed a punch that barely phased him, only to get knocked down in return, it was a wake-up call. Reacher's never faced someone like Paulie before, and it's clear this rivalry is far from over. Reacher's line, "I just haven't worked him out yet," tells us he's already strategizing. But can he really take down someone who might be his physical equal? I can't wait to see this showdown unfold. Now let's talk about the emotional core of this episode, Annette's death. Annette wasn't just another character, she was someone Reacher had grown close to. Her kindness, her courage, and that pie she left him with a note saying thank you, it all added layers to her character. When she was exposed as an undercover, a TF agent, and brutally killed by Paulie, it hit Reacher hard. The way he laid her to rest, making sure her head was upright before covering her body, showed a level of respect and humanity we don't always see from him. It was a moment that reminded us that even someone as tough as Reacher can be broken by loss. Annette's death also served as a grim reminder of the dangers Reacher faces. She was a good person caught in a bad situation, and her death underscores the brutal reality of this world. It's not just about taking down the bad guys, it's about surviving long enough to see justice served. And then there's the ending. Reacher was summoned to meet Julius McCabe, who we now know is none other than Francis Xavier Quinn, the man Reacher thought he killed years ago. Quinn's return is a massive twist, and it raises so many questions. Does Quinn remember Reacher? Will Reacher take his shot at revenge, even if it means risking his life in front of Quinn's men? That moment when Reacher reached for his gun, it was electric. You could feel the tension, the anger, and the thirst for revenge bubbling beneath the surface. But Reacher's not stupid. He knows taking Quinn down in front of his men would be suicide. So what's his next move? I'm on the edge of my seat, waiting to find out. Let's not forget about Teresa. Duffy's still holding on to hope that she's alive, but let's be real, the odds aren't in her favor. These are ruthless people, and if her cover was blown, it's unlikely she's still breathing. But here's a wild theory. What if Teresa switched sides? What if she's now working with McCabe and Quinn? It's a twist that would definitely shake things up, and I'm here for it. Duffy's guilt over Teresa's disappearance is palpable, and it's clear this case is personal for her. But at what cost? With Philly nearing retirement and clearly in over his head, I can't help but wonder if this case is going to cost Duffy everything she cares about. Overall, this was a fantastic episode. The action was top-notch, the emotional beats hit hard, and the stakes feel higher than ever. But if there's one thing I'm missing this season, it's the strong personal connections Reacher usually forms. In Season 1, it was Roscoe and Finley. In Season 2, it was Dixon and his team. This time, Reacher feels more isolated, and while that makes sense given he's undercover, it does take away some of the emotional depth we've come to love. That said, the tension and suspense are still there, and I'm excited to see where the story goes next. So, what did you think of Episode 5? Do you think Reacher will take his shot at Quinn? Is Paulie really his match? And what's next for Duffy and Philly? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future breakdowns. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep watching and keep theorizing. And remember, justice doesn't take a day off. See you soon.